Let's be real. In the tech world, the pressure is always on. We gotta deliver features faster and faster and faster. And now, with all these AI tools popping up, a new kind of coding culture is taking root. One that's all about speed and gut feelings. It's a phenomenon people are starting to call vibe coding.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about. We have all been there. You're staring at this block of code, maybe you inherited it, maybe an AI spat it out, and it works. Kinda, but nobody, and I mean nobody, can explain why it works. It's a total black box. And that little knot of dread in your stomach when you realize you have to change it, yep, that's a classic sign you've run into the aftermath of vibe coding.
So what is this seductive shortcut really? Well, on the surface, vibe coding looks amazing. It feels so fast, it's flexible, and it seems like you're experimenting and innovating at lightning speed. You know, it's the path of least resistance when that deadline is breathing down your neck. And the key word here is mindset. This isn't some formal methodology you're going to find in a textbook. No, it's more like a cultural shift, where developers, often under pressure, just lean on their gut feelings. They go with the vibe of the moment and just kind of hope what they're building is going to work out in the end. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, it's building without a blueprint, just making it up as you go. It's grabbing that first snippet an AI gives you and just running with it, no questions asked. It's that really dangerous belief that, hey, it works on my machine right now, so it must be good enough. And of course, critical stuff like documentation and tests. We'll get to that later. A later that almost never comes. So yeah, vibe coding might feel super productive for the developer in that moment. But trust me, the hidden cracks start to show up almost immediately, especially when you look at it from a quality assurance point of view. That speed, it comes at a very, very high price. This quote from the source material absolutely nails it. The code base just turns into this fragile mess, a patchwork of band-aids. And every time you stick a new one on, you risk tearing open an old wound somewhere totally different. That's what we call a regression, when a new change breaks something that used to work perfectly fine. And as that happens over and over, the team's confidence in their own product just evaporates. And you can see right here how the whole thing just unravels. It's a domino effect. If the developer didn't have clear requirements to begin with, how on earth is the QA team supposed to know what to test? This leads to totally unpredictable behavior, which forces testers to spend hours just randomly poking at the system, hoping they stumble across a bug. The fixes are brittle, the documentation is a ghost town, and before you know it, your QA team isn't preventing problems anymore. They're just running around putting out fires. Now, I know this might all sound a little abstract, so let's get into a real-world, concrete example of how this can go so wrong. This is the story of the payment flow that was built simply because it felt right. Right there, that justification is the heart of the problem. A developer, probably under a tight deadline, put together one of the most critical parts of the application based on pure intuition. It worked in the demo, everybody high-fived, and it got tossed over the wall for testing. And that's when the nightmare began. First, the simple stuff. The code worked great for the perfect happy path scenario, but it completely fell apart with common real-world issues. Edge cases. What happens if a customer's credit card is expired? What if they don't have enough money? The system had no idea, and the user experience was just broken. And then it got worse. When things did go wrong, the error messages were a total disaster. They were inconsistent, confusing, they offered zero help to the user. This is how you destroy customer trust in a matter of seconds. A small technical issue just became a massive user experience problem. And here it is, the knockout punch. Buried deep inside that vibe-coded logic was a retry loop that, under certain conditions, could actually charge a customer's credit card twice. This isn't just an oopsie or an inconvenience. This is a catastrophic bug with real financial consequences for your users, all because the initial approach had no structure. Okay, that was the cautionary tale. But look, the goal here isn't to scare you into slowing everything down to a crawl. Of course not. The real key is finding a balance, building some simple guardrails that let you move fast without sacrificing the stability of your product. And here are 5 really practical guardrails you can put in place. First, just agree on some minimal shared requirements. It doesn't need to be a 50-page document, just enough so everyone's on the same page. Try test-driven practices. Writing tests first forces you to know what success looks like. Use code reviews and pair programming, because a second pair of eyes is your best defense against it felt right logic. Keep a simple checklist for regressions so old bugs stay dead. And this one is huge. Get QA involved from the very beginning, not just at the end. They can spot problems before a single line of code is even written. And it is so important to frame this the right way. These guardrails, they aren't about adding red tape or killing creativity. It's about shifting to a whole new mindset. This right here captures the whole philosophy. Real creativity actually thrives inside a good structure. Think of it like a trellis for a climbing plant. The trellis doesn't choke the plant, it guides it, helping it grow stronger and reach for the sun. This is all about guiding that awesome creative energy with clear goals and teamwork. So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this pro tip. It's so simple, but so powerful. The next time you get that urge to just dive in and code the thing, just pause. Take 5 minutes, just 5, and write down in plain English what the expected outcomes are. That tiny, tiny investment of time up front will save you and your entire team countless hours of pain down the road. I promise. Which really brings us back to the big question, doesn't it? Vibe coding feels fast. It feels productive in the moment. But when you add up the weeks of firefighting, the lost customer trust, and the hit to your team's morale, you really have to ask yourself, in this endless race for speed, what is the true cost of just going with the vibe?